so much for coming, you all. I'm very, very happy to see again so many faces and some new faces for our third cultural cafe today. Our topic today is veganism, and when I introduced this to some who are here, they looked at me very skeptical, like veganism, I'm going to bring trauma to this place. But I'm very happy that all of you are here for this topic. You might have a lot of prejudice, you might have some thoughts about it, but our speaker today, Sara Banna, is here to wipe out some of these prejudice, to inform us about what veganism really is, what you might think of it, what thoughts you have. So it's also about discussing and exchanging our ideas and thoughts about it. So I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. It's really like a pleasure, and we both of us were really, really looking forward to this thing since we've been in your restaurant. So we met Sarah in her restaurant because she opened up the first vegan restaurant here in Amman. We can highly recommend it. She has some samples with her, so be surprised, be excited about it. She opened up the first vegan restaurant here in Amman, and I think this is something very special. So she is really an expert not only on veganism, but how to be polite to animals, so animal rights and a human activist. She spent years in Romania and Italy, and there she collected a lot of experience. So she is an expert on these kind of topics. And her restaurant is not only about diet-free, meat-free, but also plastic-free and sugar-free. So you always also have the environmental friendly part in this restaurant. And we got really inspired by Sarah because we were sitting in the restaurant, we enjoyed a very nice meal, and then she came to us, or you came to us, and you told us so much about your passion and your love for what you're doing. And I think this was very inspiring for us. So we are very happy that you're here and that you're sharing your story and what you love to do. So please welcome Sarah for today, and the stage is yours. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Octavia. Thank you so much, Clara, for giving me this opportunity to meet all these nice people here. My name is Sara. I'm a vegan chef. From the past 4 years, I was born vegetarian, but I decided to be vegan 4 years ago when I moved here, and I realized that it was so hard for me by having places when I go out with my friends to eat. It was like a little bit hard, actually more hard. And sorry if my English is not that perfect, but I hope everyone can understand me.
Excuse me.
I tried to open Bayt Sara.
Excuse me.
Yes.
We are hardly here.
Sorry?
We are hardly hearing.
We can't hear you. No.
So Shireen, can you hear us?
I can hear, but it's hardly.
I cannot hear. Oh, the microphone.
There is echo. There is echo.
Shireen, can you hear us? Shireen?
Hi, Sarah. Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, you can hear as well. So Kamal, can you maybe check your mic?
Okay. Okay.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
So the topic of today is veganism. Why we choose this topic? It's because many people, they think that veganism, it's a choice of life at the end of the day. But the thing is that we are not trying to convince people to be vegan, because the veganism, it's a choice of life at the end of the day. And it's all about being healthy. And I think people who they eat in general 7 times per week meat, it's big exposures for many diseases like cholesterol disease, healthy disease, and other things. So today we will go on the topic of what is veganism. Veganism, it's about future, and it's the future of this civilization. It is what to survive, but why? And what is veganism? It's not a plant-based diet. It's about taking conscious decisions on daily basis. Your every choice as a consumer has consequences. Okay. Reason that people go vegan. It can be for personal health, for ethical reasons, and also for climate change. As all of us, we know that the climate change nowadays, it's a little bit happening in a very, very deep way, like all over the world, as we know. Not only in Jordan, I think in Europe also, we can feel all the climate change happening. The way the industry makes meat, poultry, dairy, or eggs, it's all about money. And when we say that it's all about money, it's because the conditions that the animals are treated in the farms and in the slaughterhouses, it's all about money. Because if the industry was a little bit different, I think even the diseases of our health, it will be much different. Why we say that? So not only the quality, but the mechanism of production are very harmful to the humans. Starting from those who work in the industry, we are pointing here in the stories during the pandemic. Why during the pandemic? Because the biggest rate of the coronavirus, it was happening when everyone was on lockdown. I think the industry of animals was always working why to produce the milk, the cheese for us, and most of the employees, it was such a big number of coronaviruses inside of their work because they was keeping working without having any type of restrictions. Dairy eggs, hormones, the personal health. Why? Because the antibiotics, the arthritis, immune failure, allergies, liver, digestion, skin, obesity, and blood and pus. When we say blood and pus, we say because if you notice in all the slaughterhouses, like the animals, they are sitting and they are eating and living in the same place where they cut them, so the blood and the pus is there. In one point, sometimes if they are hungry and they are not fed in the right time, they will end up to eat what they have under their legs. So this is happening. This is the reality. Meat, cancer also, blood pressure, heart disease, cholesterol. Cholesterol, why? Because it's studied. The doctors, they studied that the people who they excess eating the meat, they have a high cholesterol problems. Leather production. Production, it's a very, very big problem, as we know that all over the world, especially the snake, cows, sheep, all of them, they are used and exploited for our things that we are wearing, our boots, our jackets, bags, especially many big companies all over the world, they are taking the crocodiles and the snakes and they are using them and exploiting them for our bags and watches and other things that we are wearing on us. All cosmetics, testing on animal versus human cells. Animal test real and effective, it's up to 79%, means you can still be hurt by those cosmetics. If you know that L'Oreal and also Maybelline and other big companies, they are making a lot of experiences, for example, for the eyelashes. The eyelashes, if you go in a shop like in L'Oreal company mall and you buy your eyelashes, all the eyelashes, that the production of them, they are from animals, they belong to animals, they don't belong to us. Here we are, if you ever watch it on Netflix, Okja, I don't know if you haven't heard about it. It's a very beautiful movie. Maybe at home you can watch it. Here we will show just a thriller. We choose this one because it's having a good emotional impact between humans and animals. So it's showing us
Some believe you've known about Oksha. It's a lie.
Yeah, so I will be very happy maybe if you have time at home to watch it because it's really something very inspiring for us humans to understand more from where the pain is going. Sometimes we don't know, we don't realize maybe, but we are causing a lot of pain to the animals. No one is saying to,
Hilfe! Schnell, schließen Sie, blockiere die Tür mit dem Schraub. Ich bin unter
no one is saying to give up on eating meat, you know, our point like activist, I'm an activist also. I take care of plus 100 stray animals in our country. And I always, when people, they ask me, why you talk about veganism? I don't talk about veganism that I want to change you or your lifestyle. It's everything about your own choice. It's about if you reduce, I think it's getting better for your health, for the environment, for the climate change, for everything. So you don't need to just quit eating meat. You need to reduce it. And if you start watching more documentaries and read more about it, you will understand that it will be something good for your lifestyle. Ethical reasons, it's the production ruthless and cruel up to the level where people who work at slaughterhouses cannot usually stay longer than 1 year in this job. It makes them mentally unstable, and this is studied because they are seeing so much blood and they are forced by their job to do so many bad things to the animals, to see so much pain, to hear so much pain from the animals that after 1 year, most of them, they are starting the therapy in their private lives because they cannot sleep very well. And everything is happening because they are working in the blood industry. Throughout human history, only the last couple of thousands years, people start believing that human being is a crown of animal world. It isn't like this before, and killing other mammals was mostly ritual. Was discovered through last scanning of bones that show that diet of our ancestors was primarily plant-based. So back in time, I think everyone knows that before they was going hunting, but before going hunting, before they discovering the wild side of the animals, people was eating plants in general, like forest plants, wild plants. So the several political approaches through religions decide to make human as main creature, and other beings are given to this utility by God. It was important part of controlling masses because of psychology of human brain. Here we are going in a topic that I think everyone knows about it, the climate change. Everyone knows that all over the planet is happening a switch. And we can notice this that last year in Turkey, we had so many fires in the forest, Amazon forest also, and other countries, they were suffering. They had a lot of tsunamis, they had a lot of fires, so the climate change is happening. And it's happening why? The industry is responsible for 1/3 of the air pollution, which is bigger than all transport collected together. Deforestation, it's mostly done by growing meat industry needs, forest cutting, the Amazon forest in Europe, for new cattle space and growing insane amounts of crops to feed livestock that could literally feed 3 times the population of this planet. any meat dairy, eggs production consumes green or blue water. We will go on the water markers soon and I will explain you exactly what means the blue water, the dark water, and the gray water. And the waste is unrestorable by natural gray and black water that nature is unable to clean itself for decades. Production of 1 pound of meat takes as much as water that one person spends in the shower for a half a year. So here we can go on the topic that the water itself, the one that it's not clean, especially from the slaughterhouses, it's affecting our climate change because we need to use more and more. We are in shortage of water and we are keeping using water to clean these places. And the animals, they are using a lot of water because some of them, they are sitting in an outdoor places and during the summer, it's so hot that they are drinking like 3-4 times more water than the wild animals. And here we can go that to see what is the blue water. The blue water is found in lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. It's what it can be pumped from below surface aquifers. Available blue water is used for many purposes, including drinking water. It can be used in homes and businesses, like beverage manufacturers. So this is the water that we are using in the slaughterhouses, because from here, we are taking all the water and we are using in the slaughterhouses. They use it for cleaning, they use it for animals to drink it, and we are in shortage of rivers and everything just because the water is going in a huge amount for the animals. The green water is available in the soil for plants and soil microorganisms. It is the water absorbed by roots, used by plants, and released back to the atmosphere through the process of transpiration. So we have there the green water, the soil water, and the ground recharge. So every time when the plant is it's absorbing all the water, the groundwater needs to be recharged, and the recharging is coming from the blue water that we saw it before. So the rivers are keeping recharging the groundwater. And the blue water flow is down there, so it always needs to be recharged. This is again connected to the climate change, because more we recharge the groundwater, more we need the blue water. But the blue water already is in shortage because we are using for the farmers a lot. Where they keep the animals, they are using like 0.5% of the rivers, especially in Europe. Here we do not have in Jordan such a big lake of water because the slaughterhouses here are owned by private industry. So we don't have so many slaughterhouses like in Europe. But in Europe, as we know, we have so many big companies all over the world. Here it's a bit less because the people, in general, the village people, they are sailing the lambs and the sheep and everything by their own. So they are not using such a big amount of water. The gray water. To supplement the green water, scientists are looking for the gray water. The term is typically applied to water that has been previously used and may contain some impurities. Gray water has been used by cities, households, and industries. It's the wastewater that is usually treated and discharged. Nature makes blue and green water. Humans make and have learned to use the gray water. So this is the gray water, the rainwater, the black water, and the treatment. So again, we are using the water. If you have any questions, we will go also to the topic of questions very soon. I'm sorry that my English is not that perfect. I'm full of emotions again.
I just checked online 1 pound how much kilos it is. It's half a kilo.
It's half kilo.
So that means 2 burgers.
2 burgers.
Will use the same water as I use in 6 months.
In 6 months, exactly. It's studied.
Yeah.
Yes. So here we have the clean water, the springs, the wells, the purified water, city water, the gray water, used water from skins, showers, bath, and laundry without harsh and chemicals. Black water is the water from toilets and containing harsh chemicals. This is the global greenhouse emissions. Here is 30% transportation sector and 80% are the cattle. So the transportation of the animals usually it's happening also by sea, also by flight, also by camions. So only the pollution of our weather, it's happening a lot because if you remember in the pandemic time, when we wasn't allowed anymore to fly, to use the cars, the climate was very happy, the nature, the air, you could feel it, that it was more clean. This is also because like 18% of what's happening in the world is happening just for the transportation and exploration of the animals to transport them from a country to a different country. In Jordan, I researched about it, and 45% of the transportation on the seaside, on the Red Sea side, and also by flights and also by normal traffic, it's happening because they are importing everything from outside. So they are importing from Romania, from Italy, from South Africa, they are importing animals. So they bring them alive here, most of them, and they are proceeding all the halal things with them before selling them in the supermarkets. So again, it's affecting our climate change because we are transporting and using many ships and many flights and many camions. So here, if you want to take a screen about it, here it's showing exactly your food's carbon footprint. So we have the grazing belt, the sheep, the meat dough, beef, feedlot beef, seafood, pork, aquaculture, seafood, chicken, eggs, meat, substitutes, beans, peas, and soy. The last one is the beans and the peas and the soy because it's the less harmful for our planet because the beans doesn't need the water, that much water like the water that they are using in slaughterhouses for the animals. The soy also, it's a good substitute. Like in my shop, we are replacing like all the meat, we are replacing with protein, and protein means like soya, tofu, you can replace with any type of them, and you can make flavor it the same one, the same taste like your steak. We can do steak from tofu, we can do from soya beans shawarma. I know it's a bit funny, but that's why today we bring some samples for everyone, so you can taste the vegan shawarma and let us the feedback. How do you feel after? Because this is very important also. Even the vegan mayonnaise, we produce it from soya milk. So I think I have many Jordanians, locals, when they come in my place and they are really, they have a shock when they taste the shawarma and they say, wow, it's tasting even better than the normal one and we don't feel heavy after we eat it. So I hope today, after you eat it, you will leave a feedback.
We need massive flavor if you want.
Big amounts, yeah. Here we go back to the topic of deforestation, climate change. So increased rainforests are cleared every 1 to 2 minutes. Animal agriculture is responsible for 91% of Amazon destruction. I will get in this topic also with a very big example that I think is happening all over the world. In Romania, in my home country, it's happening that because they cut so many forests, now the wild animals, they are going down to the cities. So it's very possible you are going in your holiday in Romania and you sit in a restaurant and you are eating next to the mountain side and some wild animals are coming to ask food like deers and foxes also, because they don't have anymore, they don't have their habit anymore. It's like they took away their homes, they cut all the forests, and now they are coming down, and the people, they feel in danger about it because they are wild animals. So yeah. Here is the one hamburger, the one that you were saying about. So one hamburger, it's 660 gallons of water they use, equivalent to shower for 2 months. So I don't know if you can believe, but this is true. Like for one hamburger, it's 616 gallons of water, and this is studied and it's real. They are using all this amount of water instead of having for us water for our own needs and for the nature. We are using for having a burger in our stove.
Not only what the animal drinks.
Exactly. Everything.
What you need to grow, the food for the
Food for the animals, everything, the transportation, the water that they are using to clean the places where the animals they are staying. So everything, it's including everything. And yeah, the result is one hamburger. We go to the climate change again, the global greenhouse gas emissions, 51% to the livestock and their bioproducts, and 30% to the transport, road, rail, air, and marine. The waste is from a farm of 2,500 dairy cows, waste from a city of 41, okay, in English, I need some help. 411,000 people. So this is the waste from a farm to the waste from a city. Raising animals for food, including land used for grazing and growing feed crops, now uses a staggering 30% of Earth land mass. So this is the 30% of what we are using from our lands to grow, to have the meat industry still happening. So we are using a lot of land, so the animals, they can, usually the slaughterhouses here in Jordan, as I said before, we do not see them that much, but in Germany, in Italy, in Romania, all over the Europe, they are taking these lands outside of the city. So again, from there, the pollution is starting because they are using all the nature to use it for the animals.
Huge business. They use it as a huge business.
Yeah, it's considered one of the best business nowadays in 2022.
Yes.
But thanks God it's happening now. Many countries after the pandemic, they start to wake up, and I think the vegan community is growing everywhere. The activists also, many people, they had enough time during the pandemic to read and research about it. And as I mentioned it before, you don't need to be a vegan. You don't need to change your lifestyle from tomorrow. But as long as you reduce to eat the meat and the dairy products, you will feel better with your own body. Animal agriculture is the source of 51% of all greenhouses gases also. So if you notice, like every greenhouse, they have like lots of animals inside that they are living in it, and they are burning lots of stuff. So all the smoke that the factories are producing is also affecting our climate change, because again, we go in the subject of the pollution of the place. I don't want to say it's the end, thank you, because we still have many topics to talk about, but these topics, they will not have a screening. It's me, myself, that I will try to answer to all your questions and everything you want to know about it. I'm here. I know it's my first presentation and it's, I'm a little bit, I had many emotions actually, but I hope you understand things about it, and I wish to host you guys anytime. We can do this screening documentaries also in my shop, so we can go more deep and see on Netflix and online documentaries about, and have some vegan dinners together. And yes, any questions you have, I am here to answer to anything that is crossing in your mind. Any subjects you want to open, I'm here to answer.
Thank you.
It seemed like it was your first presentation.
I am trying to do my best. I know I'm very bad. I'm a little bit shy in front of people when I'm alone. Like when I exercise it at home, it was much better, even the pronunciation. But here it's a bit like, you know. But I hope you understand a little bit of what I was talking about. And I want also to open a very important subject for me here in Jordan, like an activist. I think you saw, all of you, that we are having a huge problem with the stray animals in our country, and the stray animals, they do not have any help here from the government or any type of organizations. I do respect the organizations, they are doing a great job, but there are few of them, unfortunately. And the doctors, the vets, they are not very helpfully here. They are just doing for money. They don't do it to help. As I'm in charge of plus 100 stray animals in this country, every time it's happening something with one of my cats or one of the dog that I'm finding on the street and I'm going to the vet, it's like, okay, we give you 5% discount. And alert is very expensive. So from there, you can understand that they don't do it for love of the animals, they do it for money.
What kind of stray animals do you have, and where can you give shelter for more than 100 animals? In your private house?
No, it's happening everything in front of my restaurant from the past 40 years. We have pipe for water, pipe for food for them, that it's always refilled 24 hours. And my mom and my dad and my brother are helping me to take care of all the stray animals. So we feed them 3 times per day. My father and my mom, they are walking in all Jebel Amman with big bags. We are buying huge bags of dry food for them. And in the night, my father is collecting from all the shops in downtown the leftover chicken and from the places where they sell meat. And we are feeding them. But feeding them, it's not a solution, because most of the females are pregnant every 3 months. And we get more babies and more. So the only solution that we are trying to find the help outside of this country, to bring some doctors here. This is my dream, to offer them an exchange amount in Jordan, a holiday, but in exchange to help us to start spaying them and shipping all the stray animals. Yes. And dogs, we have many of them, and they are being poisoned by the government in the last few weeks. I don't know if you saw it online, because they need the people, they are complaining, they are scared about them, so they do not have another solution, so they are starting poisoning them. And
what is the interest for castration?
Castration, yeah.
Isn't that a solution?
It's a solution, but as I mentioned before, the doctors here, the vet doctors, they don't do it without money. And to do a castration for a cat, it's around 60 JD, and for a dog, it's around 80 JD. So it's a huge amount of money. They can make you a discount, but not such a big one.
Sure, for a private person, that's not possible to do that, but
Exactly.
I thought from government side or something.
Yeah, we need the help of the government. We hope that the government will fix this problem, because I'm working with the tourists. I'm also a private guide doing for free, not for money. I'm taking care of Italians and Romanians when they come here, so I'm organizing them the trips. And every time in my restaurant, every day I need to hear complaints from the tourists that why it's so dirty on the streets, why we use so much plastic, why we are throwing so much plastic everywhere on the Dead Sea Road, in Wadi Rum. And this thing is also affecting our pollution and climate change in Jordan, because if we would have some factories here that they do recyclable, I think it will be much easier for all of us to have a recyclable place in our house and to, to throw the plastic separate of the humidity and food and other stuff. But unfortunately for now, we have just a small one in Cosmo. So if you are interested at 7th Circle, we have a place, maybe the plastic bottles that you use them at home, you can collect them, and anytime you pass to 7th Circle, you can throw them for free there. It's a recyclable place. And yes, these are our main problems, and all of them, they are connected to veganism, because in general, the people who they are vegans, they are a little bit more aware, because they know that the climate change and everything what's happening with the pollution is because of us. It's not because of someone else. Us, we are in charge of our nature. Us, we are the one that we need to take care of. And we have such a beautiful country, and we have so many tourists coming from all over the world to see the beauty of our country. So I think that if we try to be, even if it's not us that we are throwing, even if we see someone on the street throwing a bottle of plastic, we can just take it or tell him to throw it in the garbage, because we need to keep it clean. So any questions you have, I'm here.
If I need to go to be semi-vegan from tomorrow,
Semi-vegan, yeah.
how many calories shall I consume per week?
Per week.
Per meat.
Per
And
meat.
if I consume one time per week, shall I consider myself as semi-vegan?
Yes, but I don't think you need to switch it directly in a semi-vegan consuming. Now you are consuming 7 times per week, right? Meat or chicken.
I think I'm 4 times. Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to switch it directly in one time. You can reduce just, let's say, 2 days less per week, and the rest of the days you can replace it with protein, beans. We have in our country here, we have bamia, we have green beans, we have, thanks God, we really have a great market of veggies and fruits here. We are not in shortage of that. So I think you can replace with, I can help you with that. I can teach you some recipes. I have my own shows every 3 months live. I'm going to LA from my kitchen, and I'm sharing also all the recipes. And when people usually, they say in Jordan, vegan is very expensive to be.
Yes.
Yes, that's a true topic, but depends the way you think and you see it. Because if you come to me, I can make you a whole schedule of the week in a very cheap way. Why? Because if you go to Cosmo, for sure it will be very expensive. In Cosmo, the cheese, all the products that we are importing, they are very expensive. But
then I will leave it. I will go to meat.
yes,
When I see the price very
because
high,
the meat it's much cheaper, and the chicken it's much cheaper than the vegan products in our country. But we still have a small vegan community, Jordanians, who one of them, it's Meatcom called. They open a small factory of vegan burgers. And it's very cheap, and the quality and the taste, it's really good. Maybe one time you can come and taste it in my place, so you can see how you feel after. And also we have local vendors, vegans. They produce vegan labneh, they produce vegan cheese, they produce vegan meat, also vegan chicken. And the prices are like 0.5% of the products that you find them in Cosmo. So we can support our locals and pay less also. And you don't need to reduce it, like to cut it all once. You need just to reduce it the amount. Yes, and the protein in your body, you need always to be careful, because the protein, it needs to stay in your body. And also you always need to be careful if you quit, let's say 3 days per week, you don't eat the meat, but you need to have a substitute of this meat. So you need to eat a lot of spinach, a lot of green stuff, a lot of tofu, a lot of soya. But I can make you a schedule about everything, and also teach you how to do them very fast at home.
I would like to have that as well, please.
Yes, for sure.
But falafel has also a lot of protein, so it's
Yes.
great
just to warm up.
It makes a lot of problems, you know, falafel.
Yeah.
What kind of
First of all, I want to thank you about your great presentation.
Thank you.
And I want to ask you, are you sure about these numbers? Because they are very scary numbers.
Yes.
And what is their source?
The source is the specialized doctors that they are studying this from many years, not from 1 year or 2 years. They are like
Scientific.
Yes, studied. It's all over the world. So they are from the whole planet. They are studying these numbers, and this number it can be also proved. I can send you some documentaries to watch them at home. I didn't want to go too much emotional to show exactly what's happening, but I can send you some links so you can read them at home and watch them. And you will understand exactly the numbers and how they studied this, with facts, with proofs, with videos about it and everything what's happening. But yes, unfortunately, we don't realize, but the things are going very deep. And I think now it's a chance after this pandemic to wake up a little bit and to try to change something for us, not for the animals. I'm not a person who, you know, people, they think, you are vegan, you don't accept me because I eat meat. It's not true. We had a vegan festival 2 weeks ago, and Clara and Octavia, they have been part of us and they supported us. The first one, we done it in July. We was expecting just 50 people because we know the vegan community here, it's very small. And we were surprised to have 140 attendance in the first edition. And the last edition, the second one, was 2 weeks ago, and we had 250 attendance, and we had non-vegan people. And we were surprised about it because we had many activists talking about the environment and about animal rights and about the climate change also. So next month, you are all invited in my restaurant on the 15th of November. We are giving for 150 people, non-vegans. We are giving free burgers and free shawarma. So you are all invited to our event, and we will have also our activists. They are professional activists, not like me. They will talk about everything, and they will be ready while you are having your meal to put questions and to ask about everything you need to know.
I want to ask you about soybeans. They say it's related to breast cancer.
Yes.
That's something that like it raises the progesterone, I think, or something for women mainly. So
Yeah.
how true is that?
It's a true fact as long as you are consuming daily basis. If you are consuming soya every day, each customer is coming in my place and they are telling me, I want to go vegan, but I heard about this or I read it about that. I never advise them to eat every day soya because it's true. If you have a huge consumer of it, like daily basis, daily meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's effective. But that's why vegans usually they take a lot of supplements, a lot of vitamins, a lot of calcium, and a lot of they take a lot of supplies, and soya really it's not good to use it on daily basis. It's not only for women, even for men. It's affecting the hormones for men in a very deep way. So we need to have always a schedule, you know, like today I eat soya, tomorrow I will have tofu, after tomorrow I will have just greens. I will not touch either tofu, even soya. So it needs to be always a balance in your diet.
Okay, can that like in the 15th of November, can it be online as well so we can participate to see that?
Yes, we can make it also online, but we prefer people to come, especially the non-vegans, and have a properly meal. And we have our guest, he's considered the father of vegans in Middle East. His name is Sharbel Baulutin from Palestine. And he's one of the main activists in Middle East for us. And he supported our place from the first minute that we opened, because the first year was horrible, was no one, just me and my cats. So Every year he is coming from Palestine and trying to give free vegan food to the Jordanians, especially the locals who they live in this country and they are not vegans. And he's talking with them because he's a doctor also, so he can talk more deep and go more deep in these subjects and tell people exactly what's happening. So you are invited, you are not here?
No, I'm gonna be in the States now.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
you are
why I want to
living.
see that. You live there?
No. I asked you, you are living.
I live there.
Okay. Yeah, we will make a streaming. We will make a live streaming so you can.
Because frankly, I tried to be vegetarian, but it didn't work out because of the supplements. They are just not easy to manage things. It's easier to do like meat.
Yes, in Jordan, right?
Even in the States, it's
In the
much
States?
easier, yes. Frankly, that's something I tried. It is a meat. Like everywhere you go, you just, okay, I would have anything, it's just meat, everything.
But I heard that now the vegan market in States is growing a lot. And many restaurants they are opening and also in the markets and also the prices there are less than here. For
In everywhere, yeah. In every way. Here, Jordan, it's just don't talk about prices in Jordan.
Yeah, the
It's something else.
prices are very high.
But like in the States, it's always like, I think it's a war against like, vegans and vegetarians and all of
Yeah.
this. It's always the meat and it's really
It's
cheap to buy
everything
that.
about money.
It
As
is
I
cheaper,
mentioned at the
Yeah.
beginning, it's everything
All
about
about
money.
business.
Yes.
But in Australia, I think, or New Zealand, they issued a new tax for those who raise cows because of
Yes.
the environment. And
Yes.
I think in the United States, they are going to.
But Mahmoud, it's very serious, my friend. It's very serious. It's very serious. All the needs to be used.
Yes, but if you pay tax, you will think twice.
Before buying.
Everything will, the price will go up, so.
Yeah.
This is the,
Yeah,
I think
after COVID.
the Swedish army, they reduce the amount of meat each week to 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
They used to eat cow meat every day,
Yeah.
now 3 times. So there's a movement.
Yeah, it's happening actually. Even in India, they start replacing the meat with giving to the people like you buy one burger vegan frozen and you get another one box for free. So they are trying all over the world. It's happening, the change, it's happening. We don't feel it now and in Jordan it needs a lot of time, more time than Europe.
If you solve the problem of Mansaf, you can.
I told her. You can have the
vegan,
Actually, I have a friend of mine, he's in our team, he's an activist working for volunteering for PETA and for NARD. I don't know if you heard that PETA, they open a clinic in Wadi Musa next to Petra, and they are trying to rescue the donkeys and the camels and the horses, but they are very tired, and giving the electric cars in exchange to the Bedouins. So in my team, I have one guy, his name is Saeed, and he's an activist. Also on Instagram, I can give you his link. And he's doing vegan ones. I need to steal his recipe and do it in my restaurant and to have you all there for a vegan month
I
sometime.
don't know.
You don't think?
It doesn't work. No way.
We need first to try the shawarma out and see if it's working.
Maybe.
So what's the name of your restaurant again?
Bayt Sara.
Bayt Sara.
Yes,
Bayt
it's
Sara.
in Jabal Amman next to Mossad Cafe, after Mossad Cafe on the right side. It's a small place, not a big place. It can host 50
You should
people.
put a picture for your restaurant.
Yeah. We can put it online. We can,
How long have you been vegan?
40 years. But I was born vegetarian in a vegetarian family. My mom, she was born vegetarian. My brother also. My father is a butcher. I think you will have many fans.
This is a good reason because most of my friends vegetarian because they saw how they slaughter the animals.
Yeah,
So,
this is the shop was looking before like that.
You told me your father from where? From Pakistan?
Yeah, from Jaffa.
That's why.
But at home, he doesn't cook meat or chicken. Only at work, he can do what he wants. This is our vegan finger sandwich. This is our small place. It's everything. I made it everything by my hands. Even the tables, everything is handmade. This is our vegan shawarma that is waiting us outside. It's a very small place, but it's all free of sugar, free of plastic.
What's your price? Yeah.
So the prices for what I know from people, because this is one portion. So a portion can feed two people. It's
Confirmed.
Yeah.
They have to the fullest.
Yes. So it's 8 JD per portion, and the sweets are 6 JD and without sugar also. And the shakes and the coffee are 3 JD. So I think it's, you know,
In the middle.
yes, in the middle, not very expensive, not very cheap, but in the same time, you know, two people, they can be full from one portion, they can share it.
Yeah, so what do you use for sugars as sugar substitute?
I use coconut cream in all my sweets. I don't use stevia.
Okay,
Yes, I can teach you how to do it.
so now you need it.
This was our first place. It was exactly in the front, but we lost it during Corona because the owner of the place was against my cats and she started poisoning them. So I decided to move the entire shop and to lose everything and take it from the scratch again with my cats. Now they are saved because the owner of the place, he loves animals, so I can have all of them in front of my place.
How many cats?
For now, I have 115 and 25% of them are pregnant.
25%?
Yeah. So very soon I will have many babies.
Beyond us, you can adopt cats from.
I saw them, I saw there are many outside
Yes,
and they are feeding
they are
them.
pregnant. They have like 3 pregnant cats.
But I,
One, two, three, and three.
for me, it was so nice seeing, they have a pet shop, right?
Yes.
Seeing a bowl of water and food in front, I don't see often in this type of shop. So I was telling, wow, that's amazing.
Nasser is waiting until they
For
deliver
delivery,
his kid.
Oh, really?
And I will have one.
Okay. They are the stray ones or inside?
Sorry,
Stray,
sorry.
but they are more.
The white and black, right?
Yes,
Okay.
there is inside another 2, one outside, 2
They
outside.
are friendly.
They are very friendly.
They look very healthy. They take care of them.
I do have a question,
Yeah.
because now your presentation was very inspiring and really also touching, especially when it comes to like the environmental impact and the health of the animals. And I'm like, okay, I have to really reduce meat. But I see myself in the future, let's say tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, being in a restaurant with friends, and then there are up or something very delicious that I do like and I enjoy. So do you have any advice how to make a better decision next time when I'm out? So I know you said we don't have to cut off meat entirely, but just maybe something that we can remember all the time, that we think about it and not have burger every day we go out or something. Do you have an advice?
Just visiting.
Every time.
No, actually, I'm really happy to see that many places in Jordan now they have different options. It's growing, it's happening. It's not an easy thing because it's not an easy business actually. You need to invest a lot of money and you don't take the money that you are investing very fast at all. But I can see many places they have vegan burgers, vegan nuggets, and I was like, wow, really, it's happening. About thinking, I think you need to watch some documentaries maybe before and get more emotional way. I work it on my emotional thing before because I was vegetarian, and when I was living in Italy, I was eating seafood. So after I saw the documentary called Seaspiracy, I don't know if you just watch it.
Yeah.
I quit. I don't touch any more seafood because after what I saw, what was happening there, it's really ripped me up and says, Sarah, you need to stop. And that's not good what you are doing. But I know it's hard. It's very hard. Even me, when I go with friends outside and they are all ordering steaks and chicken wings and burgers. And I'm the one who has a table on the table or jarjir salad. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I really don't know what to advise you because I don't want to give you an advice, an emotional one. So maybe you will think, she wants to point on the emotional thing.
But I mean, I think this is good. So just some to get some.
We need, for me, we put in our house a program to have at least 2 vegetarian meals every week in my
Yes.
house. It works. 1 meat, chicken, and 2 days without meat or chicken. So it works, little by little.
I was actually surprised when I came. I don't know how you feel coming from Europe, but I was actually surprised that there are just tiny little dishes and there's just tiny little bit of meat. So it's not about the steak or the burger per se, but it's like something filled with mince or minced meat or something, which is very hard to kind of circumvent because when you go to the bakery, of course now we found one, but sometimes there's a lot of minced meat and just tiny little things and the steak.
Sorry for interrupting you and sorry for not joining you. I'd really like to join you. But
I think you will have the shawarma. You had it by yourself. That's the reason you are there. I can bring the shawarma. Maybe everyone is a bit hungry now.
Yes. I can help.
أنا ببين الصورة دوس هنا
But we tried like another
not vegetarian not let's go and see تعالوا بس والله العنب والناس يعني حرام هذا العنب ما هذا بعد الشاورما بعد الشاورما انا كثير ما بقدر اقاوم